right. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2024. And here we go. Gold breaks $2,600 barrier as Fed cut bets prolong historic run. We'll talk about some of these with the Bad News Bears. Kamala Harris tax plan could cost us nearly 800,000 jobs. Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. Remember, build back better. To build something back, you got to destroy it first and then build back. And the better to them is a communist state for Comrade Kamala and Creepy Tim. Trump keeps hammering Fed over rate cut. It was a political move, says Trump. Kamala-omics, robbing the future to appease the present. Market declines and the problem of time. Woo, that rhymes. Gold hovers near record high. Here's where analysts say it's headed next. FedEx, that's right here in my town. FedEx earnings miss could signal a slowing economy. Wow, these people are real geniuses, aren't they? The U.S. economy could hit a double whammy on September 30th if two major negotiations are not hammered out. And JP Morgan CEO warns of U.S. economic crisis as BRICS power grows. Joining me now are the Bad News Bears, Michael Weiner, Wes Peters. What plans do you have for this? Oh, wait a minute. I don't need to ask. Michael's going golfing. Michael's going golfing.
Hiking and then golfing.
Hiking, then golfing.
Biking and then golfing.
Biking, then golfing. You are Jack LaLanne. Was that his name, Jack LaLanne?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you know who Jack LaLanne was, Wes?
I sure do. Yeah, he was a power lifter, bodybuilder. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's the Jack LaLanne of this generation.
I knew him, and I also knew Hercules. I met him many years ago.
Did you really know Jack LaLanne? I'm sure Wes made his glasses at
No, I used to you watch his TV show. Wes made his glasses.
I bet you did. Michael made his Wes made his glasses at Pearl Vision. Is that where he worked?
No, but I had a protein shake with him one time.
You really did?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I never know when to believe you guys. Where was it you worked? At 1 Minute Glasses?
Lens Crafters.
Lens Crafters, 1 Minute Glasses. What do you need? What color? Here, try these. All right.
An hour.
1 minute glasses.
Go grab lunch and come back. Yeah.
Wes is in charge of all female fittings. So.
Yeah.
Ouch. Are you going to take that, Wes?
Yes.
I can't say what I would typically say probably on television.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so Michael is going to go golfing. He's going to throw some brand new, freshly minted bullion gold coins on the carpet for the kiddies to play with.
No, they're into platinum.
They're into palladium?
Platinum.
Oh, platinum. Okay.
Correct.
And what are you doing, Wes, this weekend?
I have a cousin and her husband are in town from Michigan, and their son lives in the East Valley, so I'll be fighting rush hour traffic to go over to their son's house for a barbecue this evening. So I'll spend a couple hours with my cousin, and then I also am playing golf tomorrow morning.
Are you playing with Michael?
No, unfortunately, no.
I'm dumped.
I'm done. Is that what you just said?
I'm dumped.
He said he's dumped.
He dumped.
I dumped him. Yeah.
Here you go. I dumped him. I tell you.
How far apart do you guys live from each other?
Probably 40 minutes.
40 minutes? Wow.
Yeah.
He's on the west side. I'm on the east side. He's on the rich side. I'm on the poor side. So
not true.
It's like a song, the rich side of town. That's Wes Peters.
Yeah.
You're in what city, may I ask, Michael?
Scottsdale.
Oh, that's the rich side.
Schnottsdale. He's in Schnottsdale.
What side are you on? What side are you on, Mike? Oh, Wes?
I'm on the west side in Peoria.
You're all the way over in Illinois?
Yes. Seems like it. Seems like when you drive into the office. Yeah, in rush hour traffic with people that don't know how to drive.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I wish you guys a great weekend.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend,
thank you
Brandon?
Thank you for asking.
What are you?
With all your maintenance people this weekend, Brandon, I think that's really nice.
What is that?
You're having a barbecue with all your maintenance and cleaning people this weekend. So.
No, I'm not. No, we're having a come to Jesus meeting with a few of them. Let's see. What am I doing? I will probably go out and grab a meal with my wife and my oldest son who's in town. And then I guess I got to study mostly Saturday and Sunday to get ready to teach lesson 19 on the book of Revelation, starting chapter 6, verse 1.
All right. Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So there you go. But I enjoy sitting and studying. So to me, I put on a little classical music and I spend the day with about 25, 30 Greek and biblical commentaries. I love it. So
Nice. Good.
Nice. Lovely.
Yeah, you both absolutely can't imagine spending your weekend like that, can you?
Do you sing along? Do you sing along with the music?
Sing with me, won't you?
Sing with me, won't you?
All right, here we go. Are you two clowns going to be at the Ozarks Worldview Weekend?
Of course we're going to be there.
Already booked our plane tickets and rooms.
All right. Did you use the code WRLD to get the room rate?
I did.
I used your credit card.
We're going to be shaking hands and kissing babies.
Are you bringing any like black and white PR photos that you can sign and give autographs?
Yeah. I couldn't give those things away.
Oh, we couldn't. We have to pay people. Here you go. Take $1.
Here you go.
Let's see if you bring us up on stage again.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to do that. So are you going to bring any of your free, no obligation packets of information with you?
Correct. We're going to bring
some information.
But he's our helper. He will be out there helping.
Who's helping?
Chris.
Oh, Chris?
He works once a year.
Okay. Ouch. All right.
I almost forgot about that guy.
I did too. I couldn't even tell you his last name, to be honest with you. Huh?
Huh?
I think
Who is he?
He works at Swiss America. He's in my phone.
Make sure he sees this clip.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we forward this clip to him.
He's in my phone, but what is his last name?
Agolestos.
Huh?
Agolestos.
Well, that's why I can't remember it. What is it?
Actually, he ran over a javelina and butchered it.
It's Agolestos. AGEL.
It's a true story.
Stos.
Oh, wow. I don't. You know what? I have him in my phone as Chris A. That's why.
Yeah.
I could never spell or pronounce that last name. But he's a good guy.
Yeah. No, he's a very good guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, let's get to the business at hand. Kamala Harris' tax plan could cost U.S. nearly 800,000 jobs. Michael?
Her tax plan is raising the taxes on corporations. And what corporations do at that time is go, okay, who do I get rid of to be able to maintain and stay in business? And they'll cut back and increase the workload for their people that they have and cut back on goods and services. So you're going to get less and pay more. Now, Kamala's going to turn around and say everybody's gouging everybody, but she's very business unfriendly. All of her policies are about literally punishing business. This small business thing she's talking about, she has never done any. She hasn't even had a lemonade stand. She has absolutely no idea of business. All she talks about is like Santa Claus. She's going to give away, but you can't give away when you don't have any money. She doesn't realize her credit card is used up. So what she's doing is she's going to punish the businesses. She's going to hit them with higher taxes. She's going to hit them with something else that when she says she's not going to do anything with fracking, they regulate things to death. They will regulate it out of business. They will regulate businesses out of businesses. And that's what the gentleman said yesterday on television. It was one of the fracking company, and he was CEO of a fracking company. He said, if they do this, if she gets in office, I'm going to have to lay off anywhere from 10 to 20% of my people, and my capacity of doing business will go way down. There was another gentleman that was on one of the television shows that was on at a diner who was being talked to this morning, and he said under Trump, he said I had 3 crews and 5 projects going on. Under Biden, I have 1 crew and 2 projects going on. So I think under Harris, he'll have half a crew and 1 project going on. People can't afford to do business in this atmosphere. They're not business friendly, and they will destroy a strong economy, but that's what their ultimate goal is anyways, to destroy it.
Wes?
I'll just go over some of the highlights of the article. As you mentioned, Brandon, the tax plan could result in the loss of 786,000 full-time jobs over the long run. 177,000 of those jobs could come from corporate tax. 125,000 jobs from other policies affecting high-income earners, a 2% decline in long-term GDP, and a 1.2% reduction in wages are anticipated under Harris's plan. Raising the corporate tax to 28% alone could reduce GDP by 0.6%. The plan creates disincentives for investment and work, reducing economic growth and job creation. Raising investment tax from 3.8 to 5% and Medicare tax to 2.1% would have the biggest negative impact, costing 177,000 jobs. And then it talks about tips, exempting tips, which Trump originally came up with. And Kamala jumped on that bandwagon, but exempting tips from federal income tax could add 21,000 jobs. The only policy of Kamala is in the analysis with a net positive impact on employment. Harris' campaign points to Trump's tariff proposals, which would also result in job losses, although some of his policies, such as making tax cuts permanent, could create jobs. So yeah, Kamala's plan, which again, we still really don't know what it is, but it's a job killer for sure.
Absolutely. Let's go to a video from Yahoo if their cruddy player will play. It normally doesn't. It spins and carries on. So let's see. Here we go. Let's try it. Give it a whirl. Oh, look at that. It worked.
Today's top story, a bold start to the Fed's easing cycle. The central bank surprised some on Wall Street by cutting interest rates 50 basis points Wednesday, marking its first rate cut in 4 years. Here with the takeaways from the Fed's monetary policy decision is our own Fed correspondent, Jennifer Schonberger. Jenna, it seems like some were shooketh, some were not. What do you make of this?
Yeah, Brad, frankly, I was one of those who was surprised that the Fed opted to cut by 50 basis points. But clearly, Fed Chair Powell said that the decision was rooted in confidence that inflation is falling back to 2% and a commitment to stave off further weakness in the job market. Couple of takeaways from here. First, the key is that Powell does not think the Fed is behind the curve. They actually view this as a proactive move to make sure the Fed does not fall behind. They're trying to preserve strength in the economy and the job market. And personally, I think this was the right move. I think it shows they wanted to catch up from July, even though Powell said that wasn't the case. He sort of went back, though, to say that had they had the July jobs report in hand during the July policy meeting, they may have cut. But they looked back at both July and August jobs report for this meeting. Secondly, the Fed started with a bang, but the path they laid out for the remainder of this year and next was much more gradual, with 2 smaller cuts this year and then just 4 next year. So far fewer than what the market was pricing in. And that makes sense, given that this economy is still showing strength and that the Fed has not declared victory over inflation yet. Guys?
All right, Jen, so we have this decision now. There was so much drama leading up to it. Now let's look ahead to what could happen at the next meeting in November. Lots of questions about what exactly the Fed is going to do, what metrics are going to be paying most, close attention to. What do you think?
Right. So if we look at the dot plot, we see that there are 2 25 basis point rate cuts that are implied for the remainder of the year. So I would expect them to cut by 25 basis points in November. For that to become more of a jumbo size 50 basis point rate cut, I think we would need to see greater deterioration in the job market between now and that November meeting.
All right. So when do you guys think what do you think is the progress for the next cut?
I think that they'll do whatever they have to prop up the economy based on no fundamentals but other than lowering interest rates. They're destroying the U.S. dollar. That's what they all talk about. That's the underlying factor that's going on here. They do not care about what's right. Just like Biden lied on TV yesterday when they woke him up. And he said, well, I haven't talked to Mr. Powell. I have not seen him.
And yet we have a photo of him sitting in the Oval Office with him.
Exactly.
But see, that's because Biden is out of his mind. He can't remember, he can't remember what he had for lunch 5 minutes earlier.
He has his minions in there with him who tell Powell what to do, and Powell does it. So I don't expect anything except furthering of the interest rate drop, which will ultimately perpetuate a problem that will inevitably shoot inflation up, destroy the U.S. dollar, destroy our borrowing power, destroy our financial stability, which also puts us geopolitically in financial risk. When we're in financial risk, we're in also geopolitical and military risk, because people are not afraid of a weak nation. We are becoming toothless. Pretty soon we'll be eating mush all the time because we have legitimately been gutted. This situation is all about inappropriate drops in price for political reasons. That's all.
That's all. I'm done. Wes, thoughts?
Yeah, I think with the Fed coming out of the gate strong with a 50 basis point cut initially, I think they'll do a 0.25% going forward. Under that article, that video you just played, Brandon, was an article about how Trump talking about Trump keeps hammering the Fed over rate cut, saying it was a political move. He argues that the rate cut signals a weak economy under Biden-Harris, which the Fed is trying to prop up. Of course, Jerome Powell rejects any claims that it was politically motivated and that the economy's weak. He thinks they're right on track. Trump contends that the size of the rate cut shows underlying economic problems, blaming Biden's policies for a sluggish economy. Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren and President Biden, support the rate cut, with Warren saying the Fed waited too long to reduce rates. And Biden described the cut as part of a new phase in economic recovery, while Harris called it welcome news for Americans facing higher prices. Trump claims the rate cut is evidence of political interference in monetary policy, while Democrats view it as necessary economic management. So I do think there's a lot of truth to that 50 basis point cut right before the election. You see what the stock market's doing. That's a little sugar high. I don't think that's going to continue. I think there's going to be a nice retraction in the stock market in the first of next year. Again, political motivation with our government agencies, and the Fed isn't even part of the government, being weaponized.
All right, let's go to
half-point
this right
rate
here.
cut.
Here we go.
Or half percentage rate cut, we should say here. Stocks wavered for most of yesterday's session after the decision, and ultimately ending the day lower here. Joining us now with a closer look, we've got markets and data editor Jared Blickery and senior markets reporter Inez Ferre. Jared, let's start with you. I mean,
Yes.
my goodness, thank goodness it wasn't half a point, but but at the end of the day, I mean, what is most striking about this decision to you, and what could this signal going forward about the markets?
All right, 50 basis points was kind of a big deal for me. I think 25 basis points sends one message and 50 sends another. The message I'm seeing with 50 basis points is we are a little bit concerned the data is weakening more quickly than we expected. And I think that's evident in the market's reaction yesterday, which was a bit tepid given the fact that this was a big momentous event that everybody's anticipating for years. There might have been some bullishness in the lead up to it. But let's go to the Wi-Fi Interactive. I have a couple of charts to share. And I think all of what happens with the market right now depends on whether or not we slip into recession. And it's probably too late for the Fed to backtrack and say, all right, we should have done this when. The wheels in motion are going forward. That's why we talk about these long and variable lags. So what we're seeing here is how stocks are reacting to rate cuts differently over time. And these are all averages. So this goes from 12 months before to 2 years after. And this cyan line right here is what happens to stocks when you have a recession. You can see that they go down and they go sideways for a long period of time after. When you have just a growth scare, that could be a minor credit shock. It could be the Japanese yen, for instance. Or if you see normalization, that's a soft landing, stocks tend to go up over time. So I see 50 basis points as a potential problem here. And I think the fact that we did see the first dissent from a Fed governor in a long time, 2005, I think that means something too.
It does mean something too, and we're seeing that get even more attention, I think,
Yes.
this morning, and as investors have had time to digest exactly maybe ultimately what this would signal here down the line. And as I know you're closely watching the reaction that we're seeing play out in commodity space, specifically gold. What are we seeing there, maybe what that indicates?
Yeah, and it's interesting because Jared was mentioning whether we are going into a recession or not. And what we had seen in commodities, barring gold, barring silver, what we had seen in commodities is a downward trend signaling commodity deflation. And this chart really illustrates this. This is from Bloomberg Intelligence. This chart shows that these commodities, which are 23 commodities, including aluminum, copper, Brent, it's rare that you see commodities be in such a sharp downturn trajectory.
It's a big concern.
It is at the start of an easing cycle or ahead of it even. So that's signaling that the Fed may be behind the curve here. When you do look at gold, we are seeing that that gold has surged this year. This is a different story when it comes to commodities with gold. Gold, when you date back to 1989, gold typically has risen as the Fed starts lowering rates. Goldman Sachs has this chart out from a recent note. They're showing that ETFs backed by physical gold holdings rise gradually when the Fed policy rate starts coming down. So since gold is, these gold-backed ETFs are backed by physical gold, then they would be reducing the physical supply of gold, sending up the price of gold higher. So they're expecting gold to be going up to 2,700 in early 2027. And what could send it another leg higher are recessionary concerns.
Yeah, Jared, you said it's a big risk. I mean, typically we see in a cutting cycle some of the riskier parts of the market.
All right, let's stop it there. So she seems pretty bullish on gold, right, guys?
Yeah, statistically she isn't because she got bad numbers, but she's going over other people's bad numbers. Mike Weiner's numbers are right, 2,800 year end and not 2,700 in 2026. She'll be speaking Chinese in 2026 if Kamala wins. So at the end of the day, Yahoo is about as exciting to me as a frog fight. But
frog fight. A frog fight. Yeah. Well, they're about as bad as their player. Remember, we talked about how cheap their player is. You wanna talk here, Wes, or should Michael?
They talk about. There's an article below that too. They talk about gold climbing 25% year to date, driven by central bank purchases and investor demand for safe haven assets. Again, historically, rate cuts lead to higher gold prices, seen during the 2008 financial crisis and the 2020 pandemic. Goldman Sachs, and she misspoke there, Goldman Sachs expects gold price to rise to 2,700 by 2025. I believe she said 2027. And she mentioned gold ETFs. I just want to let everyone know that gold ETFs are great investments. Gold and silver ETFs are great investments to make money, to speculate on the market. It is no form of protection whatsoever.
Explain why, please.
You're not going to ever be able to take possession of that gold and silver. They will not deliver it. Many experts out there believe that they don't have enough physical metal on hand to back those ETF purchases. It's something that I imagine at some point in time when a bunch of people get financially devastated, our government will step in and act all concerned and try and put regulations and rectify things. But many argue that there's not enough physical metal to back those ETFs. So if you want to try and make money in the gold and silver market, you can do that with ETFs, but it's no form of protection. You need physical, tangible metal that is either in your possession at home or being stored at Delaware Depository in your IRA, or at any time you could pick up the phone for your IRA metal and say, I want you to ship me my gold and silver from my IRA, and it will be physically delivered to you. So
Okay.
That's all.
All right. I just sent a quick email. All right. Now, let's go to the next one. FedEx earnings miss could signal a slowing economy. I actually find all these articles kind of funny because I don't need FedEx earnings. I don't need anything to tell me the economy's slowing. I can see that based on my own company, my own organization, my own businesses. I can see what's going on with my own things. I don't need FedEx's earnings to tell me what's going on. But everybody's out here quoting this and that like, they got something that's really revealing. I think everybody knows we're in a recession, not we're about to go in one. I think we're already in one. Generally, you're in a recession, and then they tell you later, oh, yeah, back then we were in a recession. That's how it works, generally.
Right. Revise numbers. They revise the numbers. Imagine
Michael,
that.
why are you shaking your head?
Well, I went out to, when they talk about recession and pricing and stuff, I went out to breakfast. Usually I do every Friday morning with Dean. But at the end of the day, I went to a coffee shop and I had 2 pancakes and 2 strips of bacon. I'm serious. And a cup of coffee. You know how much the bill was?
Were you paying for Dean's or just yours?
Just me. I was alone. One person.
You had a cup of coffee.
2 pancakes, a cup of coffee, and 2 strips of bacon.
Were you eating in Scottsdale?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that came to $19.99.
Try $38.
Wow.
I said $18 when he asked me. I said $18.
$38. I looked at it. I go, "Are you serious?" I didn't even think of it.
Are you sure you didn't get someone else's bill?
No, I double checked it, and that boy, they got me coming. Unbelievable.
Take me to breakfast there
$38.
next Friday. Take me to breakfast next Friday, Mike.
All right. Well, if you take me to golf tomorrow, I'll take you to golf then.
$38 for 2 pancakes, 2 strips of bacon, and a cup of coffee.
That's why your workmen charge you so much, Brandon.
I just need them to watch for the paint runs. It's not they charge so much as they don't watch for the paint runs. That's the problem. I don't like runs after the paint has dried. Particularly when I've warned them, no runs.
It's sort of like
And then I check their work, and we got paint runs.
Like that's like Joan Bennett, no wire hangers. It's same thing. Same thing.
All right, here we go. Well, Wes, you want to comment on the FedEx earnings?
Let's see. FedEx earnings. Company cut its outlook for remainder of the year, focused on weaker industrial demand as a key issue. Industrial shipments, which are FedEx most profitable, saw reduced demand, leading to a shift from priority to deferred services. Their stock dropped 14% as investors reacted to the disappointing earnings and the company's concern about industrial customers. Prior to the 14% decline, FedEx shares were up 21% year to date. There's an article, Brant. Let me see. Where's the other article at that I want to try and get to before we end?
How much time we got left, Logan? We got 3 minutes, boys.
Oh man, there's a good article about investing and how the buy and hold strategy does not work. Where the heck is it? Let me find it real quick. The clock's running. Let's see.
So we're grateful.
Let's see here. I want to play a little of this while you look. It looks like Biden hasn't had a cabinet meeting in like a year. Has anyone heard that? Listen, watch.
Breaking news now. We had told you that President Biden would hold his first cabinet meeting in almost a year today. And he opened that meeting by turning the microphone over to his wife, First Lady Jill Biden. Here's the touch.
So we're grateful that Jill is here today. Heard that clapping. It wasn't for me when we came in. And here across previous administration, First Ladies have attended these meetings for specific reasons. This is the first time Jill has joined us, and it goes to show how important the issue is, which she's about to speak to the both of us. Today, at the top of our meeting, Jill's going to give an update on the House initiative, White House initiative, to fundamentally change the approach and fund and how we approach and fund women's health services.
Women's health services. I think it just means more abortion on demand. What a disgusting group of people. Did you find what you were looking for there, Wes?
Maybe I did. I didn't. So I will go over it on Monday because it was really good. And I don't think I sent it to you.
All right. Anything you guys want to say in closing?
I think that what we all have to be careful of is what this momentary financial bliss is. It's all done for momentary financial bliss. And when this election's over, the reality is going to hit. And again, what we try to remind people, Wes and I, all the time, is this loss or this gain is always yours. If you're feeling comfortable with everything going on in the country, you probably shouldn't be watching this show, because we're trying to tell you what's really going on in this country. But more importantly, be involved, review your positions, be one-dimensional, protect yourself and your family, because the first thing this administration or this country will do is stop the music, and they will do that if Trump wins anyways. They will do everything they can to throw as many monkey wrenches into this economy as possible. We can help you to literally insulate yourself, but it's up to you.
Get your free packet of information, 602-558-8585. Text or call Wes Peters. He'll send it out to you right away, 602-558-8585. Don't get taken with a $38 breakfast anymore, Michael. Have a good time golfing. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Good weekend.